Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament of the Hebrew Bible. I use the King James Version of the Christian Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel from the scattered bits and pieces of the testimony of the various prophets of the Old Testament. And I wrote a book from it called the Book of Zion. It's written entirely in Bible verse, so in order to legally publish it, I had to write the Pot Smoker's Bible as a companion book, a book which is a dissertation and commentary to the Book of Zion. And in order to fulfill the final stipulation of the prophecy of Israel and become the Zion of the Most High God of Israel, I have published peace on YouTube and on social media in the form of these segments where I'm literally reading to you from the Pot Smoker's Bible and the Book of Zion. Today I'm reading from the 22nd chapter of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the 19th chapter of the Book of Zion. And I'm going to start up where I left off last time. But my righteousness shall be forever, and my salvation from generation to generation. The new humanity that comes out of the mountain will be an eternal race of human grace. They will remember their beginning, when the fire of the earth's wrath burned our former world, cleansing it of all of its evil. The next passage is the defining one. Every pot smoker on the planet is going to recognize what's happening here. This is my definitive proof of the righteousness of smoking marijuana. Isaiah 6, 1-7, which is Zion 19, 10-17. In the year of Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord sitting upon a throne high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Above it stood the seraphim. One had 6 wings. With twain he covered his face, with twain he covered his feet, and with the twain he did fly. And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the posts of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. Then I said, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For mine eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then flew one of the seraphim unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongs from off the altar. And he laid it upon my mouth, and said, Lo, this has touched your lips, and your iniquity is taken away, and your sin is purged. Isaiah 6, 1-7. In the year Uzziah died, approximately 699 BC, 2,718 years ago, Isaiah was visited by aliens. He was shown a future event. It changed him forever. You see, Isaiah got high for the first time. So, society, you go ahead and run the rat. Whoops. I saw also the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up. His train filled the temple. The Lord here is our future king. This is David reborn. He is sitting upon a throne, on a dais, a raised platform, and his train filled the temple. Well, of course, this isn't a locomotive train like our trains of today. This train is a trail of smoke. Look it up. The ancient meaning of train was a line of smoke rising from a fire or a pipe. King David is smoking something. LOL. He's getting high. Above it stood the seraphim, each one having 6 wings. With twain, he covered his face, and with twain, he covered his feet, and with twain, he did fly. I can't wait to see one of these beings. If I'm that lucky, that is. Because I do believe that the seraphim are real, that the seraphim are a race that lives out in the galaxy, or some galaxy. Okay. The one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. The seraphim is telling Isaiah that the Lord's actions are common practice in this future kingdom. The whole human population knows the truth about marijuana. The king gets high, and the posts of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. There you have it. The house was filled with smoke. The train of the king's smoke from the pipe or joint in his hand filled the temple. But it wasn't just from his hand. The smoke comes from the altar. Then I said, this is Isaiah speaking, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. L-O-L-O-L-O-L. I so love this passage. Anyone who gets high gets this. Isaiah just witnessed the future king with a pipe in his hand, lifting it to his lips and taking a hit and exhaling the smoke, which helps to fill the temple with smoke. To get high is to have clean lips. Smoke is holy. Getting high is getting God. So Isaiah continues. Then flew one of the seraphim unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongs from off the altar. The seraphim goes to the altar, where a brazier is filled with marijuana, which is burned to fill the temple with smoke. So he takes a pot, that is burning, and what does he do? And he laid it upon my mouth, and said, Lo, this has touched your lips, and your iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged. Ta-da! Isaiah gets to take a hit of holy smoke. Why is it holy? Because your iniquity is taken away, i.e., your immoral or grossly unfair behavior. You no longer have the desire to do things that are evil, immoral, or unjust. And what's more? Your sins are purged. Purging is a process of getting rid of something quickly and completely. When you get high, you stop sinning. In Nepal, there are monks that drink a marijuana-based smoothie that they say prevents them from sinning. So marijuana ends your ability to do harm to others, which is what sin really is. So to get high is to know God, and to know God is to unite with all of life and be cleansed of all of your negative intent. Pot equals peace. Peace equals love. Love equals brotherhood. Equals a connection to the divine essence of life, which is unity. Marijuana is sacred. It is the first step in this process. And we go on with Psalms 113, 4 and 5, which is Zion 19, 18 and 19. The Lord is high above all nations, and his glory above the heavens. Who is like unto the Lord our God, who dwelleth on high? The Lord is high above all nations. He is above the nations and their laws. God doesn't care what the nations claim to be true. The Grey know better. They brought hemp and marijuana to this world. It comes from them. It is their gift to us. No government, especially the United States of America, has the right to deny humanity of a gift of God. Yes, the gray have their glory, their home above the heavens, beyond our galaxy, at the outer edge of Andromeda. They finally found a young, suitable planet to call home. It has no sentient life, so they at last have a new home of their very own. You see, Earth was their home. They didn't originate here, but all enduring species must leave their home world behind, even as we will one day leave our birthplace in our past. Their sun lived out its lifespan, just as ours will one day also disperse. That is the way of ancient peoples. When a civilization becomes peaceful and wise, they never need to die out. Long before their sun went supernova, they began exploring space, even as we too will learn to reach the stars. That is the gift of all lasting races, to create an enduring peace that ensures eternal life for the species. That is the true gift of the grave. They come to teach us their part of our story. We are forever family. We will learn to be like them. We will be gods ourselves someday, as we too seek out a new home. We too will teach others the ways of life and of peace. Who is like unto the Lord, our God, who dwelleth on high? Well, someday we will be like them, ancient and wise, able to travel the stars, destined to seek out new earths to call home. But we are still a long way from being a delightful people we are said to become, a people equal to God. We will also meet the other 12 species that are known as a vast economic unit that trades with each other in an open market that uses barter instead of cash. The governing council meets rarely, so there isn't a real federation, but a group of 14 species, including our own, that are bound by peaceful trade. Soon, we will join this trade group. So the answer to who is like God is, well, no one on earth. We humans have just begun to advance by the gray. Our current tech is from them. The US and others may have Shanghai tech, but we were always going to be given the technology. But I'm real sure that the gray came here with what is to them ancient tech. They have much more sophisticated stuff than simple computers. We have nothing close to what they use every day. But they came here with the technology that was at our level or next to it, so that we could learn step by step. We're just now taking baby steps towards eternal spacefaring status. We can't learn to use advanced tech without a primer, so we took what they always intended us to give us anyway. Our God, who is on high, is on high. We perceive them only if we have our THC receptacles open and active. So the prohibition of marijuana is a burden to the entire human species if the use of drugs is for human benefit. How can you justify its illegal status? God, our true living gods from space, needs us to use marijuana so that they can teach us on high where they can be heard. And so I'm going to finish there for the day. And may the gray watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. They teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it, and make that your guild choice when we get to camp. Um, if you use drugs, stay happy and high. You have every right and reason to. Believe me, I know I wrote the books. My name is Zion, and I love you all way too much to ever say goodbye. So I'm going to say later now.